Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris show. This gorgeous vision of beauty and intelligence. Honestly, so bright. Can't look. She's too bright, almost too much. I don't know. For the most part, people will be drawn to this gorgeousness. Why wouldn't she be? It's my wife, Lourdes. She's amazing. She's extraordinary, super smart, and not my partner just on the show, but my partner in all aspects of life.
Yes.
And I'm blessed for it. Thank you so much for that. And I'm more excited than the Pointer Sisters in the 80s.
That would be exciting.
Well, they were so excited they just couldn't hide it.
That's right.
They were about to lose control. So they liked it.
That's right. And this is my husband, Chris, who I adore to the very cell of his being, because he's just an extraordinary husband, partner, friend. I mean, best friend, everything. He just really makes my day on a constant basis.
Get to know me. I'm fantastic. Yes. So the reason, so Root Brands.
Yeah, Root Brands is amazing.
Well, it's funny because part of today's topic that we're going to talk about is about the whole detoxing away from this awful thing that people have gotten shut. Well, we're just going to have to say it because we're already all out of whack with it.
Here we go. It helps reverse the symptoms of what's going on. So I guess what it is you put it in your body and your body does the work.
That's right.
So it's not that this heals, it's that you're putting it in there and it goes in there, it takes it out while simultaneously putting in the things that you need and repairing anything that's been damaged. Again, it's not repairing it. It's just giving you the tools so that your body repairs the damage.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so if you want to learn more about the Root Brands, obviously you go to thelourdesandchrisshow.com where we have a lot of conversations about the Root Brands. You can link to the Root Brands there, or you can go straight to therootbrands.com/create option C.
That's right. Just go to therootbrands.com/option C.
No, not create. You're right. Option C. Did I say create option C?
It is create option C.
Oh, just now you said option C.
Oh, I didn't say create option C. So, okay.
I don't know.
I want to make it real clear.
Now I'm confused.
You got to go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
That's what I knew it as.
Yep.
Okay, great.
As it is.
That's it right there.
Yes. And why are we so excited?
Yeah, well, because actually, what I was going to say before was that I was more anxious than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Because the gentleman we have on today is probably one of the more divisive characters we've had on the show.
Yeah.
And
not because of him.
No. But because of what he says.
It's what he says and what he knows and what he's been doing in such a great way for so many people.
That's right.
That they have to skew him to look like he's dude. So, and in fact, when something occurs, what they do is they take that occurrence and they manipulate it. They kind of change it a little bit.
If you were to look up our guest, Christopher Key, and just do a search on him, there's a lot of bad press about him. But if you pay attention, that bad press is by design. And the more they bang that drum, the more they rail against somebody, that's an indication that there's something to look at there.
Yeah.
But like you say in the episode, well, we won't say it now because you say it in the episode, but honestly, if it was just some crazy kook on the side of the street, that guy doesn't.
Why would they care?
Yeah, he doesn't get any news coverage.
They care. They go, so I honestly think it's crazy when someone goes, well, because they can give misinformation that could be dangerous to somebody. If some crazy person in the street is talking to me crazy and tells me I'm going to go, well, because they said I'm going to listen. If I think they're crazy, I got it. They're crazy. So they're not going to go and cover them up to say things if the person is crazy.
Right.
If you work that hard to talk bad about him on different shows and write about him to make him look really nuts, wouldn't people just figure that out themselves? Why does it look so hard?
Especially on this side in the field that we're in now, talking about health and nutrition and being fully healthy in mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Without the use of pharmaceuticals, because that's not the way, and without the use of
because it doesn't
standard, of what they call standard medicine now. You should.
I just think that when it's funny when they call it medicine, because medicine is supposed to heal, and what they do now is they took that word medicine and they used it on things that doesn't heal, just covers up the, like here's an issue, we just put a Band-Aid on it. The issue's still there, but you don't have to know about it as it progressively gets worse. I've always thought that medicine means you put something in your system, it doesn't destroy anything, actually it builds back up.
Like Root Brands maybe?
Yeah, so if you put something into your system that's healing you, and only healing you, because it's not even, I shouldn't even say healing, putting stuff in your system that your body then starts healing yourself because you gave it what it needs. Why wouldn't that be called medicine?
Agreed. Yeah.
That's weird.
So we're kind of waxing poetic about that, but reality is We're excited because Christopher has turned out to be a wealth of knowledge and a super good guy. And
really listen to him.
Yeah,
look him up.
And by the way, as a free disclaimer, if you don't have a notebook in front of you with a pen to take notes, I encourage you to do so as quickly as possible, because there's a lot of information going to come at you right now, and you're going to want to write it all down.
And it's great information, guys. I mean, honestly, just you yourself as an individual, watch and listen and make your own decision. Don't let no one make the decision for you.
Right.
You listen. You're smart enough to figure this out. Just listen. It's not complicated. In fact, you'll see why.
Yep. So without further ado, I think we should just get into it.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Key.
Keys.
Christopher, it's so good to see you. You look good.
Pleasure seeing you guys.
We are so excited to have you on our show because I mean, you're up to so many big things, and because you're such a strong advocate for health and protecting, the children, and not just the children, but even the adults, now that we're seeing what's going on in the past couple of years, actually almost 3 years now, it's getting ridiculous. So we're just
going on.
It's still going on, but you're such a strong advocate, and you don't care what people think. You don't care if someone tries to make you slant the view of you, because it's not what you're about. You're about exposing what you know to be true and what's happening.
Well, we should probably, Chris.
So let's let you talk.
I don't want to call you Chris unless you give me permission to do so. I'm Christopher, but I go by Chris. So okay, Christopher, the floor is yours. Please explain who you are and what you're all about and where you're coming from better than we can.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on today, guys. I'm the least of these, but I've come to do what Jesus did and more. Why? Because he told me I could. My name is Christopher. Christ is in me, is in my name. Never forget it. My last name is Key. Okay, God's given us all the keys to unlock the doors that Satan never wanted unlocked. But we have to do it for God's people, but we have to do it for his children, and we have to do this together. We got to quit letting them divide us. We have to come together for all of God's people and God's children. A little bit about what I've done in the past. I've been part of 4 national championships, 3 Super Bowls. I've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I've been on 60 Minutes. I have helped people without drugs, without chemicals, without surgery. The government came in 9 years ago, fined me hundreds of millions of dollars, seized everything I owned, and shut me down. Why? Because we were helping people God's way, without drugs, without chemicals, without surgery. My greatest accomplishment in life was the day I became a father. And that's when everything changed for me. My twins were born with one of the most rare diseases on the planet called phenylketonuria, where they'll never eat protein the rest of their life. No milk, no chicken, no cheese, no fish, no birthday cake, no ice cream, nothing that has protein will my twins ever eat. If they do, it becomes toxic, goes straight to their brain, and causes the most extreme mental retardation there is. Because of this rare disease, I was forced to take the red pill. I've always been somebody that really studied the temple, and I didn't know what I didn't know. And God forced me to really go down that rabbit hole and really look into the temple. My background's in exercise physiology, kinesiology. I thought I knew a lot about the temple, but God showed me I didn't know nothing. I only knew what they had taught me. So when my twins were born with their rare disease, I was forced to look at anything and everything that went into their bodies. And the first thing they want to do to your children when they're born is they want to vaccinate them. I didn't know anything about vaccines. I knew I'd had about 8 of them. And I go to see my pediatrician, and the pediatrician says, wow, I've never had children with PKU, much less 2. And I said, well, doc, can you tell me something about these vaccines? He says, wow, I'm glad you asked that, Christopher, because your children are part of this new schedule where they're going to have 72 vaccines before they're 18 years of age.
Man.
And I'm like, my goodness, doc. I said, can I see a study? Because I love randomized double-blind placebo studies with my background in exercise physiology, kinesiology. I spend lots of time reading over studies and whatnot. I said, well, doc, can you show me a study that this new schedule safe? He said, sure, Christopher, they're all over the place. I said, well, can I see it? He said, right now? And I was like, yeah, you're about to inject these vaccines into my children. I've got to see the study that this schedule's safe. He said, well, Christopher, nobody's ever asked me that before. I said, well, I got to see these studies. He said, well, I don't have them now, but I'll have them your next visit. I said, well, we'll wait. So 7 days later, we go back to the doctor's visit. The nurse has 3 shots set out for my son, 3 out for my daughter. And they're about to inject my children. I'm like, wait a second, doc. The nurse was in there at this time. I said, wait a minute, nurse. Doc was going to show me the studies of this new schedule safe. I said, you got to get Doc. Me and Doc, we got to talk. Doc comes in, won't look at me. And he says, Christopher, looking all around the room, he says, Christopher, there are no studies. But Christopher, They've been approved by the FDA and the CDC and the AMA. You know, why are you going to act like that? And I looked at him, guys, and I said, act like that? I said, how are you going to act like that? You took an oath to do no harm. And now you know there's no study to show that's safe, and you're wanting to inject them into my children plus all these other children. We left that day, guys. And that's when I began my journey down the rabbit hole that has not stopped. And for 24 years, I've been speaking out about all of the bioweapons. So many people right now are talking about COVID, and I love COVID because for 22 plus years, I was screaming from the hilltops about the vaccines, and everybody laughed at me. Everybody made fun of me. Everybody said I was a conspiracy theorist. But now people are listening. And I'm here to tell your listeners, the COVID vaccine is the worst vaccine that has ever made it to market. But I promise you, there is no vaccine that you should ever give your child, give your dog, give to any living animal at all. And just to prove to this to you guys, in 1986, Ronald Reagan passed the Vaccine Injury Act that exempt all vaccine companies of any and all liability. Did you hear what I said? Ronald Reagan in 86 exempt all the vaccine companies of any and all liability. Why? Because the vaccine companies were losing millions and millions of dollars. And they said, if you don't exempt us of all liability, we're going to stop manufacturing these. So he exempted them of all liability, but then he mandated that we, the people, take their product. Wouldn't you love to have a company that you were exempt of all liability, and then the government mandated that every single person buy the product? I mean, that is a gold mine. But more importantly, in 2010, the U.S. Supreme Court, White versus Brushewicz, ruled that all vaccines are unavoidably unsafe. Did you hear what I just said? All vaccines, not some vaccines, all vaccines are unavoidably unsafe. This was ruled in 2010. It basically said, if you're so stupid, if you're going to inject these bioweapons into your children, you deserve the death, the damage that is done. But we, the people, don't know that because we don't see it on the television. You know why they call it the television? Because it lies, and tells double lies on Sunday with your 501c3 churches that all put their mask on and close down and wouldn't preach God's word. And that's for a whole nother topic. But in 2018, guys, Robert Kennedy Jr., Del Bigtree, they sued HHS because Ronald Reagan said, look, if we're going to exempt them of all liability, we got to hold them accountable. So to hold them accountable, we're going to make them do safety studies. Not every year, because that would be way too many studies. So we're going to make them do safety studies every other year. So they sued to have the safety studies released in 2018, 33 years. Guess how many safety studies have been done on the vaccines, guys?
My guess is zero.
Zero. Nada. Zilch. Not one single safety studies. But yet, the television tells you that they're safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. I don't care how fast or how often they say or how many ads they put out there. They are not safe and effective in any form of the fashion. And that's why we put out Died Suddenly with Stu Peters' network last week and showing you, the people, how this bioweapon is killing God's people, more importantly, God's children. And right now, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's funny. You should mention Died Suddenly. We were just talking about this on last week's episode, that people really need to take a look at this with an open mind and go into it. In fact, we encourage people who are skeptical of those of us who are saying to avoid this vaccine, avoid all vaccines, to stay away from them. They're evil. Bring that skepticism into this documentary and see how you feel in the end of it. But truly watch it for what it is. Yep.
Because you people have to go ahead.
Because I think it raises questions, and if you're having questions raised within you, that's the Spirit speaking to you. Something's not right here, and it's your starting point.
I think most of us are ignoring. I mean, there's people that said, "I really didn't want to get it."
Yep.
That right there should have told you, don't get it. We just ignore when God's always speaking through us. We're just always ignoring it, and then we go, "Oh, I didn't want to do it. Now I have these problems." Like, because he gave you that insight that don't do it, and you then gave in because your friends or your boss or whatever kept pushing you to do it, and then you did it. It's like, no, don't ever ignore that voice, because it's the man upstairs telling you something.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And what I tell everybody, do not believe anything I say. Do what the Lord commands you to do, and that is test and prove all things. not some things, but all things. And if you do that, he will show you the truth. You ask and you will receive. And the information's all there. We're just so lazy that we want to see it on the television, from CNN or Fox or ABC and whatnot. And guys, you have to understand, they are bought and paid for by big pharma, by big oil, by big government. They do not like us. They look at us as being useless feeders. This is mass eugenics. And this has been planned for hundreds of years. And that's not a conspiracy. This is black and white. We know this. I've studied this for 24 years because of my twins. And this is their game plan. But again, we win this, but we as Christians have to get off our freaking knees and start speaking up and speaking out and letting God's people know what's happening. There's so many Christians now that are still with masks on. I mean, do you understand when you put a mask on, you are, number one, spitting in the image of God, but number two, you're practicing Satanism. The first thing they do before they ever have a sacrifice, they always cover their face. They always cover their face. And number two, you can't speak God's word if your face is covered. You can't speak his word. Number two, they always stand 6 feet on the left, 6 feet on the right, 6 feet in front and back. Why do you think they told you to stay 6 feet apart? 6, 6, 6, right there in plain sight. These masks are coming back. The lockdowns are coming back unless we, the people, begin to speak up. And there's so many of your families and friends that have taken this bioweapon. And my team of medical doctors, over 7,500 of them, have told me, if you've taken it and if you don't properly detox, you will be dead in 2 to 5 years. Okay. I don't like to fearmonger. I don't like to do that, but this is truth. But if you understand God's temple, it can heal itself from any and all things if you give it what God intended it to have. And it was not intended to have petroleum that is manufactured by Big Pharma, which is pharmakia, which is sorcery, plain and simple. Okay. So we love to show people how to detoxify the temple. I've been doing this for 24 years. A lot of what I talk about, people can't handle, and I don't care. Take anything I tell you, take it with a grain of salt, but then go do your own research. Okay. Go do your own research. Please go look at Died Suddenly. One of the best ways to detox the body, and I'm not going to go into the best way because it may scare some of your listeners. I'll go into the second best way. Okay. The second best way is glutathione. Okay. A lot of people don't know about glutathione, but glutathione is an amazing detox. It is an amazing antioxidant that helps get rid of the free radicals. Most glutathione tastes terrible and it's not very well absorbed, but we've been able to create it where we get 98% absorption and it tastes like candy. And it's unbelievable. And that's why we try to show you solutions. We've talked about my chips many a times, and a lot of people don't know what this little guy right here is. But if you have any pain in your body, you can take this little chip, put it where the pain is, and instantaneously the pain is greatly decreased if not gone. And everybody's like, Christopher, it's just a sticker. How can a sticker do that? Well, my professors at the University of Alabama, when we did the first randomized double-blind placebo studies and they got the results back, they're like, oh my gosh, how does this little chip do that? Well, guys, if you understand, this is not just a sticker, it's a hologram. Holograms are storage centers for information, okay? And what I've been able to do is take this hologram and embed frequencies of God into this hologram, and then we put in the energy field, and then it resonates through the body. Your body's electric. A great book I tell everybody to read is called The Body's Electric by Robert Becker. And again, if you don't believe this is real, that's your prerogative. But what I love to do is I love to ship these to anybody that wants them for free. A lot of people like free. Free don't cost you anything. And a lot of times they use free as a government to get you into their system. But I'm going to use this for God to give you something for free and then send you more information. So if anybody wants to try these little pain chips, all you have to do is send your name, address, and email to Christopher Key at my cell number, 205-936-9803. Right here on the back of my cell phone, these cell phones are radiating frequencies all around us. And they affect you very, very negatively. But if you understand science, for every action, there has to be an equal and opposite reaction. So if there's bad frequencies, guess what? There has to be good ones. And that's what we've been able to do is take good frequencies, embed them into a hologram. And this right here is going to help you deal with the bad frequencies from your cell phone. And if you put them on your person, it will give you energy all throughout the day. This is going to help you with pain. So we have a simple protocol where glutathione gets rid of the toxins. The pain and energy chips make the cells communicate, because I believe there is no disease, guys. I believe all there is lack of cell-to-cell communications. When the cells quit communicating, they cause inflammation. And Big Pharma is given that inflammation different names, like cancer, like AIDS, like hepatitis, like autism. All you have to do is make the cells communicate again. The disease goes away. The inflammation goes away.
So we're going to jump on a quick break.
Yeah,
actually.
this is so good.
And then when we get back, what I want to kind of unpack is as always, Lourdes and Chris show, we always kind of look into our guests before they come on the show. And so we obviously ran your information, and
it was so interesting. So we
a lot
want
of interesting things there. So
Yeah.
I want to circle back with that right after this break. So we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Clean Slate was formulated with proprietary patent-pending techniques that ignite the utility processes, creating bioavailable silica from nature's most powerful source and adding trace minerals and vitamin C.
And the result is revolutionary. Silica with ingredients that in combination work towards a higher standard of bioavailability, safety, and efficacy to support systemic passive cleansing of the body while simultaneously enhancing pathways to heal and regenerate.
Yeah, we absolutely love Clean Slate because what it's really doing is just cleansing you out in a way that you're not going to get sick, you're not going to have a breakdown.
No, you actually feel better.
Yes, you do.
I love the stuff. It's like it breaks things up so they can get it out while at the exact same time it puts in what you need. And that's the best way to do it, because just taking things out can cause an autoimmune disorder, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So
we do live in a toxic environment, so it is important for you to cleanse every day, which is why we do it every day as part of our Root Brand Trinity. You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
yes.
And we're back. And the thing is, the Root Brands, just to your point, Christopher, is another tool for people to use to detox, and just like you were saying, the glutathione and all that stuff, and that's why we love Root Brands, and that's why
That's right. And by the way, for those, we will be putting on a description as well, Christopher Key's information where you can reach him, his number and all. He has great products, and I mean, I can't wait to try them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what was amazing just before we went to break is, and this is what kind of struck me. You hit me like a lightning bolt, Christopher. You said, you said, for those of you who want to try it, I'm going to give it to you free. Text your information to my cell phone. That's amazing to me and it just speaks to how bold you are with what it is that you're doing and how confident you are in your path. And so before we went on break, I kind of teased, because we did some research on, looked you up before we had you on the show. And I was shocked. There's a lot of negative, slanted, one-sided news reports about you. Now, is it true that you went to a Walmart pharmacy and you basically said that they were breaking the Nuremberg Code and that they would be held accountable? Is that true, or is that just something that they were making up?
That's 100% true. I went into Walmart pharmacy, went into many Walmart pharmacies, and I go in and I serve them documents that I encourage anybody listening to print these documents out from my website and go serve them to any pharmacist, any doctor, anybody that is given this bioweapon. You serve them these documents, and if they continue to give this bioweapon and somebody dies or is damaged, they no longer have plausible deniability. And there is going to be Nuremberg 2.0, and sadly, those people will probably be hung. And I don't want that to happen. That's why I go to these pharmacists. I go to these medical doctors out of love and present them these documents and tell them, look, now you have no more plausible deniability. And that's a lot of these pharmacists and doctors, they have no clue. When I went to the first pharmacist and I got them to give me the package insert, and together we unrolled the package insert for COVID-19, and they saw that it was intentionally blank. Their eyes were like this big. They had no clue. And this is what's so strange about this is our pharmacists are not doing their work. They're not looking at this bioweapon. They're just blindly going along to get along. And that's not going to be allowed when they have Nuremberg 2.0. So yes, I've went into many pharmacists and I've served many pharmacists. I've stayed in parking lots for CEOs of hospitals to present them documents. I fear no man, I fear not Satan. And I need your help to help me serve these documents, because we're trying to put all these people on notice, because hopefully they don't know. But now, guys, I'm beginning to realize that they all know. I misspoke. They don't all know, but most of them know, and it's all about the money. It's all about the money. There's a special place in hell for every single one of them. And I hate to say that, but there is. Especially when they came out and approved this bioweapon for children 5 months of age. I'm like, this is completely, totally satanic, Luciferian. Do you know, guys, before your child is 24 hours old, they give it the hepatitis B vaccine. Okay, hepatitis B, you can only get if you have sex or you share intravenous needles. Do they think our children are going back to the neonatal and they're having a freaking orgy back there and they're sharing needles? Do they think that's what's happening? Why in the world would you give a hepatitis B vaccine to a child 24 hours old when it's only good for 2 years? I mean, this just shows how evil these people are. And we have to speak up and speak out. But more importantly, what I try to do is show the problem and then give the solution. Okay, you can't go preach God's word if you don't take care of your temple. And that's why I'm so about taking care of the temple. We were talking earlier about the glutathione to help your body detoxify, the pain chips to make the cells communicate. And I've got to talk about the deer antler velvet real quick. The deer antler velvet, if you talk about anybody out there that wants to stay young, if they want to keep their mojo, the anti-aging doctors around the country will tell you want to take synthetic HGH, okay? But the average person can't afford it. It's $4,000 a month. Very expensive. It's synthetic, and you have to inject it into your subcutaneous fat. Now, when you do this, your liver transfers to what's called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor. That's what does everything, okay? We have deer that we harvest out of New Zealand. They're never harmed in any form of the fashion. Their antlers are literally the fastest growing substance on planet Earth. They grow 1 inch a day, guys, 1 inch a day. And the reason why they grow so fast is because the high concentration of IGF-1 is in the tip of the antlers. We've been able to freeze dry it out, put into a lipo delivery system that our scientists invented, that we have the patent that gives your temple 98% absorption. This is unheard of in the supplement industry, but more importantly, we have randomized double-blind placebo studies to prove that if you do the 300,000 nanogram, that's my highest dosage, it clinically increases your IGF-1 levels by 60%. Wow. 60%. This is unbelievable. That's why this product right here was banned by the NFL, the PGA, Major League Baseball, the NCAA, because it works. And it works so very well. So what we're trying to do is show people that if they've taken the bioweapon, there are solutions. And even if you haven't taken the bioweapon, you got to take care of this temple. And that's what we try to do, is show people how to take care of their temple, guys, because right now we're in the midst of the 6th extinction. Very few people are talking about this, but 1 in 3 of our males are infertile. 1 in 4 of our females are infertile. In the animal kingdom, when it gets to be 1 and 2, that animal goes extinct, guys. Wow. People don't realize that in 1965, 4% of the United States population had a chronic disease. Now, as of 2011, a new study was done by HHS. 54% of our children have a chronic disease, guys. 54% of our children have a chronic disease. I mean, right now, asthma is at 1 in 10, ADHD is at 1 in 8, allergies at 1 in 4, diabetes at 1 in 4, obesity at 1 in 3, major depression at 1 in 2, cancer at 1 in 2, dementia is at 1 in 1.
Wow.
What changed? I'm here very simply to tell you what changed. The schedule changed as far as the vaccines, the food changed, the water changed, the air changed. All the things that God had given us, they went in and polluted them with toxins, and more toxins. And that's why it's so important for your listeners to take in this information. And your listeners don't know the power that each and every one of them individually has, where all they have to do is take the information they've listened to today and share it with one person. 1 will turn to 2, 2 will turn to 4. And before you know it, 8 billion souls will know the tyranny that's going on. They only want 500,000. And it was right there in the Georgia Guidestones. I was one of the last people to see the Georgia Guidestones before they collapsed. 12 hours later, after I left there, they fell to the ground. They only want 500 million of us on this planet. Because again, they look at us as being useless feeders, guys. Useless feeders is what they look at us at. And this mRNA technology is not new. It was discovered in 1962. And when they gave it to the ferrets had the most unbelievable antibody response they'd ever gotten. They said, this will change vaccines forever. But
Yes.
then the ferrets were given the live virus, and every single one of them died. That's why I
Yes.
didn't make it to market in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000, 2010. But then at warp speed in 2020, this bioweapon came to market.
Now, you talked about warp speed, and I'm glad you did, because one of the things that we saw that when we were doing research was did you go to the White House and try and talk to Trump directly?
I didn't go to the White House to talk to Trump directly. I've sent Trump many letters, certified and registered, and I know he's received these letters. I know there's people that have gifted all this. He knows what we're doing. A lot of people remember when he said, talk about drinking bleach. That had to do with another substance that I can't talk about. A good friend of mine, Mark Grennan, has been in prison now for 800 plus days because he was giving it away. And I was giving it away over $20,000 a month. I would ship it out in postage. This is an amazing product, but I can't talk about that. I can't go there because I don't need the feds on me anymore.
Got it.
I understand.
But again, guys, everything is energies. Everything's frequency. I got to talk about Royal Raymond Rife. Are you guys familiar with Royal Raymond Rife?
I'm not.
Beautiful. In 1932, Royal Raymond Rife was given 16 terminal cancer patients by the equivalent of the American Medical Association. In 60 days, he cured 14 of the 16. Took him another 30 days to cure the other two. 100% cure rate.
Wow.
But your listeners, for the most part, have never heard of this man. The three most important people, I believe, that ever walked the face of the earth, number one was Jesus Christ, number two was Nikola Tesla, and number three was Royal Raymond Rife. Go look up his universal microscope. His universal microscope was the most powerful microscope on planet Earth until they invented the atomic microscope. When the atomic microscope, when it magnifies something, it kills it. He was able to take his universal microscope, look at the cancer cell in real life, and then take the frequency and shoot it at it till he found the correct one to disintegrate it.
Wow.
Lynn Kinney, a very good friend of mine and who I worked with for many years, bought the original estate of Rife 33 years ago, cured himself of terminal cancer. And we don't market, we don't advertise it, but we have a device, over 10,000 of them out in the field, called the Beam Ray. And it's amazing what happens. And now I'm in Boynton Beach, Florida, because I have a court order. I can't practice in my field forever in the state of Alabama. So now in Boynton Beach, we have a wellness center where we don't treat, prevent, or cure anything. We make no claims on any form of the fashion. We have fellowship and frequencies, and people come in and amazing, amazing things happen. A lot of your listeners have heard about the med beds. We don't have the government med bed that regrows limbs, but we have a quantum energy bed, which is the most advanced technology that's been released to market as of yet. And what we're seeing happening here, guys, is unbelievable. You know, again, when your body is given what God intended it to have, it will heal itself from any and all things. Right now, 1 in 36 of our children born are autistic. 1 in 22 of our males born are autistic. By 2035, 1 in 3 will be born autistic. But that does not have to happen, guys. And we're in the process of doing that. I've got another project called No Till, No Spray, Regen, Reag with Dr. Zach Bush. We're working with to get the soil back to the way God intended it to be. The soil had everything that we needed. It had all the alkaloids for cancer, for diabetes, for Parkinson's, for Alzheimer's. It was in the soil, and in the soil, it was transferred to the plants. And we either ate the plants or ate the animals that ate the plants. But Big Pharma, Big Ag figured this out, and they took all those alkaloids out of the soil by using Monsanto, by using Roundup, by using the pesticides, the herbicides, to take all this out of the soil so that our body couldn't get the nutrients it needs. And that's why, again, it's so important with my deer antler velvet, because this is going to give your body the nutrients it needs to rebuild, to regrow, rejuvenate. And it's totally natural, completely, totally natural. And that's why anybody out there that's listening, we want you to have access to this, okay? That's why if you buy the product, I will give you another bottle for free, because I want you guys to have access to it. My pain and energy tips, anybody in the world that wants this, I will ship it anywhere in the world. I just need your name, address, and email to 205-936-9803. I love it when it doesn't work for somebody, because then I want to talk to you individually. I want to find out why God made you different, so I can go back to the drawing board and make this better. Make this better. Right now in Boynton Beach, we're creating the new healthcare. Well, what's been on the market for the last 100 years is sick care, where all they're doing is killing you guys and making you a customer for life. What we're doing here in Boynton Beach, we're showing you how to be your own doctor. Okay,
Love
showing you how to be your own doctor, because you are the one that knows how to take care of your temple. And we're just trying to educate people how to take in real water, real food, real supplements, real herbs, real frequencies, real air. They're poisonous with everything, guys. But again, God's given us the answers. And it's really simple to take back your temple. Because again, you can't go preach God's word if you don't take care of your temple. And that's why they've done everything they can to poison your temple. Please, anybody that's listening, do research on this bioweapon and understand, if your loved ones have taken this, and I know a lot of them won't listen to you, just keep planting the seeds. Keep planting seeds. One of the easiest seed to plant is to give them the documentary Died Suddenly. Okay, that has so much information in there. And we've just released another docu-series with Jonathan Otto called Brave Reloaded. This goes over many different solutions. It's all about solutions, guys. They use fear to motivate we the people. We have to use that fear to show you how to take care of your temple. Because again, we have hope. As long as we have Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, we have hope. And for these medical doctors to tell you if you have cancer or COVID or whatever that you're going to die, who made them God? They're not God. Listen, they practice medicine. Would you ever go to a plumber that was practicing how to fix a toilet? You wouldn't do that. Would you ever go to a mechanic that was practicing how to fix an engine? You wouldn't do it. So why do we put so much faith in men and women that openly tell you that they are practicing medicine? They haven't figured it out. God figured it all out and gave us everything, but then they try to patent all of his herbs and put petroleum in there to lessen the temple. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Well,
I love that.
No, everything you said was. It's funny because everything you're saying is things that Lourdes and Chris Show have been saying since the inception of the series. We always say one of our big mottos is you don't know who needs to know that thing that you know. So we love that you're out there sharing it. Yeah. We love that the idea of planting seeds. But we're gonna circle back on that after this break.
Yes.
And then we're gonna directly get people to your site and how to get a hold of you with your products.
It's, by the way, loving all your information. It's like it just blows me away of the stuff that you're sharing, because we're constantly learning more and more stuff. But to hear this, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, we're actually going to have to tell people to get a notebook before they watch this one, because there's a lot of information.
So good. And I mean, really, this is something that everyone on this planet needs to listen to, because it is important when it comes to your health. There is a reason why, even in the Bible, it talks about taking care of your temple. You're not taking care of your temple if you're putting things that are synthetically made from Big Pharma, who's intentionally making you sick. You don't get bad side effects because you're taking something natural from plant herb. You get side effects because you got something that they purposely put into your system to cause issues. I mean, we even with our mom, right? My mom, she is suffering from, well, she had severe dementia. She is getting better. We'll be doing supplements and stuff, which is why I want to try some of your stuff as well, because she's improving daily. And I think this would just like knock it to the next level. But everything she was on from what the doctors have given her, when we researched it, every last one of those drugs, one of the side effects was shrinking the brain. But if your brain is shrinking, which runs the whole body, you're going to have memory issues. You're going to end up with symptoms of dementia and Lord knows what else. Exactly. But it's like, well, these are the symptoms it causes, and that's what she has. So why are they giving her the? So it was such a blessing to take every last one of those pills and toss it and give her nothing but supplements and stuff. And everybody's like, oh, you just can't stop it that way because it can cause. Let me tell you something. The day I got rid of all those things and gave her none of it and just gave her supplements and stuff that we are doing right now, she didn't have any side effects other than she was improving.
That's right.
So I think it's funny that people go, oh, but they could have a heart attack or they could have a stroke or this can happen. Not if you're taking out and putting in what it needs. It only is like if you just stop and you did nothing to it, well, yeah, they're gonna have a reaction. So I love this and can't wait to hear more. So we're gonna go on this quick break and come back.
I thought so.
Yeah, sorry. This is so intriguing. I love this. Okay.
So we'll be right back.
Restore uses the best of nature to restore your energy.
Yeah, Root Brands chose the best ingredients and enhanced their benefits to create a complete product with everything your body needs to run full of energy all day long.
And it's a perfect aid if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a vegan diet, or simply want to give your body all the vitamins, nutrients, antioxidant, amino acid it needs for a healthy, active life.
Yeah, and it tastes really good.
It does. It tastes like a dreamsicle, actually.
Yeah.
But it's so good, and it does exactly that. It restores your body, and that's what you need. I mean, when it comes to your DNA and your cells, you want to get those back to cell, and it's almost like reverse aging.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason why this product is called Restore, and it is part of the Root Brands Trinity that we use every day, which is pretty much, you can say it's Nourish, Balance, Cleanse.
It does, and it's funny. I mean, that's how we start our morning, actually.
Yeah.
The very first thing we do is we get on these because it's like it just really starts your morning right.
Yep, and so you should do the same. You should go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yes, therootbrands.com/create option C.
And we're back. We're back.
So good. And
Sometimes during a break, we'll get into a conversation with the guest. And
it's so good.
And it's so good. We're like, let's stop. Let's
want this on.
Let's pause for a second. But I do want to point out that one of the reasons why people need to take a look at you, Christopher, is because you are so outspoken, you're passionate,
it
but
comes from the heart.
But
I mean, yes.
you're paying the consequences of that, and that should speak to people, and people need to see that for what it is. They have vilified you, they've made you out to be the bad guy, but that's the standard news media outlet that we've proven time and time again to be skewed towards big pharma and big ag, like you said. And so the fact that you're in the hot seat so much with these people, you've lost your business. I'm sorry, but you'll go into that a little bit too. But
I think it's funny. People need to understand this. Okay, just really understand this. If this person was just nuts, and there's nothing that anybody will see, it's going to be up. If that were true, why work so hard to censor this person? Anybody watching his information would come up to the same conclusion, right? If that person was that nuts, you would just listen and go, yeah, that's nuts. But what are they so scared of that they have to censor him to this level? That alone should make you more curious to go, no, I want to hear what he has to say. I want to see what he's sharing and make my own conclusion. And why are they censoring him to this level? Because if someone sounds crazy anyway, you're not smart enough to figure that out yourself. I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
Think.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So you were talking about that and you can't practice kinesthesia. I'm not going to say it right. You can't practice your business.
I can't do anything involved with health, wellness, and pain management in the state of Alabama for life. Okay. Why? Because we were helping people without drugs, without chemicals, without surgery. And what we were talking about in the break was, the government came in, fined me hundreds of millions of dollars, seized everything I own, and we can't do anything in the state of Alabama. And the governor of Alabama, former governor, was actually in prison, and he wrote me from prison and said, Christopher, what in the world did you do? Because no time in the history of the United States of America have they ever done this. What they do is they send you a letter and they give you 30 days to rectify the situation. But they went in, immediately shut down everything we had and ceased everything. Why? Because we were waking God's people and God's children. We had every major athlete in the country speaking out about this. And because Christopher Key, he's the least of these. But when you have all these elite athletes speaking out, the sheep begin to listen. And they were listening a lot. And this was making unbelievable progress. And that's why I tell everybody, again, don't believe nothing I've told you. Go do what the Lord commands you to do. And that is test and prove all things. Because this temple, it will heal itself from any and all things. And guys, I don't sell anything, okay? I don't sell anything anymore. I give all these pain and energy chips away. The deer antler velvet, I don't sell it. You have to go to a separate site to get access to it. And if you buy one bottle, you get another bottle free. I love showing people how to take care of their temple for free. And one of the things I'm going to show you next, okay? We need funding to fund this operation. We got billboards all across the country. We have a wellness center here in Boynton Beach, and anybody comes in, if they can't afford it, we treat them for free. We don't treat, prevent, or cure anything. We let them have fellowship and frequencies for free, okay? My prayer every day before they brought, or after they brought the COVID vaccine to market was, Lord, please show us the antidote. Okay, please show us the antidote. Because my team of doctors, like I said earlier, said, if you take this bioweapon, you'll be dead in 2 to 5 years. I prayed and prayed and prayed. Because what we know with science, once you inject it, your body, you can't get rid of it. So I get a phone call January 6th of this past year from Dr. Group. And Dr. Group said, Christopher, we found the antidote. And I'm like, do what? I said, brother, that's an answer to prayer. I said, what is it? He said, well, just give me a minute. I said, brother, just tell me. He says, Christopher, for 12 months, I've been studying this. Dr. Group was on President Trump's vaccine task force. Okay. This man was right there in the thick of it. He said, we've been practicing, studying this for 12 months. And those that have myocarditis, those that have blood clots, those that have strokes, heart attacks, graphene oxide, we've seen all that taken care of within 90 days by using this therapy. I'm like, brother, tell me what it is.
Yeah.
He said, Christopher, it's urine therapy. It's like, oh, wow. He said, what do you mean? I said, dude, I've been practicing this for 24 years. And I said, brother, what better way? Now listen to this. What better way for these satanic Luciferians to create this bioweapon that there's no cure for them to inject it into your temple, and then God's temple creates the antibodies, the liver spins it, and then you just excrete it out. And people's like, Christopher, what are you talking about? How can that be? Well, guys, how do they create antivenom? Okay, if you get bitten by a snake, they give you antivenom. How they create the antivenom, they milk that snake, they get the venom out of the snake, they then take the snake, they inject it into a horse or a sheep, because that horse or sheep or any animal that gets that poison instantly creates antibodies. They then draw it out, they spin it, and that is the antivenom. Guys, your body does the exact same thing. And when I went public with this in January, Jimmy Kimmel did a whole hit piece on me. New York Times, Rolling Stones, they all said I was a crazy nut telling everybody to drink their own urine. But guys, if you go do the research, a great book is called By Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie. That's got all the medical data in there to show you how amazing urine therapy is. And a lot of you don't realize this, but do you realize that you've already drank your own urine? When your kidneys were developed at 3 months old, while you were in mama's womb, you began to drink your urine. Your urine has billions and billions of stem cells. Okay. And this is known by the big corporations. Do you realize that most of your high-end face creams and beauty products, guess what they contain? They contain urethra, which is urine. Okay. The number one FDA approved pharmaceutical drug for blood clotting. Okay. Blood clotting is what so many of these people are getting from taking this bioweapon. The number one FDA approved drug for blood clots is derived from urokinates. Do you know where urokinates come from? I give you a guess. Comes from urine. So again, this may be really tough for a lot of your listeners to handle. Okay. But guys, please, when I first heard this 24 years ago, the first time I'm like, that guy's a nut. And then I heard it from a second person. I'm like, really? When I heard it the third time, I'm like, okay, Lord, test and prove all things. And I dove down into it, and the research is unbelievable. It's amazing what this temple does and what God's temple can do. And it was so beautiful when he told me that. So again, everybody says I'm a snake oil salesman and this and that. I'm telling you how to take care of your temple for free, guys. So go do the research. And if you can't handle the urine therapy, the next best thing is the glutathione, the pain and energy chips, and the deer antler velvet. Because again, we have to have you guys healthy. Okay. We have to have you taking care of your temple. Because again, you can't go preach God's word if you don't take care of your temple.
I want people to listen to this, and really, because we've even heard that in when we did that, we were one of the keynote speakers at the Truth About Cancer.
That was Dr. Group. That was Dr. Group.
Yes, and he talked about that.
And he spoke about it there, and it created quite the wave throughout the crowd.
But it's funny because it's like our healing methods and what God has provided us has always been there. We just haven't looked.
And what was the book again? I'm sorry.
Yes.
The Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie. Guys, when me and Dr. Group started talking about this, all our medical buddies were all like, y'all have lost your brains. I mean, what the heck? But now they're all coming back and they're saying, Christopher, holy cow, this is real. This is real. Do you know one of the top cancer centers in the entire world is the Brzezinski Clinic? Have you ever heard of the Brzezinski Clinic?
Sure. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Brzezinski Clinic, he has this special formula. Guess what it's derived from?
Urine.
Yep.
Urine. Okay. Dr. Batar, he has one of the second most well-respected cancer clinics in the country. Guess where he gets his concoction from?
I'm going to guess urine based on the conversation.
Yeah. Yes, he does. So again, this temple is really simple for it to heal itself, but that's why it's so important, again, to take in real water. And we show people how to do that. Real air, we show people how to do that. Real food, real supplements, real frequencies. Everything is energy. God spoke and we were. Right there, plain and simple. He spoke and we were. Your body is electric. Again, the great book is The Body's Electric by Robert Becker. That was a book that really set me on my path to understand how this temple will heal itself from any and all things. Any and all things.
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to expand on the urine thing, because I got to say, one of the things that when I was fighting cancer, I was diagnosed 12 years ago, and I chose to do it naturally. I didn't want to, it didn't matter. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was in the lymphatic system. I spread through my whole body. I won't even go into that, but it was purposely done that they made sure that it went all through my whole body when they knew that I wasn't going to do it the conventional way.
Well, more than you were outspoken about.
I was very outspoken about there's a way to do it naturally, and did a whole documentary on it. But one of the things they did, when at that time I had like a week left to live.
That's right.
Went to Mexico, and one of the treatments they gave me was because I really couldn't at that time. I was so weak. I was like 70 pounds soaking wet. I was just bony, and there was nothing, nothing I could do. I couldn't eat, nothing. But on top of them giving me paranutrition, they put, what do you call the thing through, so the urine would go into a thing. And then they took my urine, sent it to a lab where they spun it. And then they took that and put it into an injection, and that's what they were injecting me with to kill the cancer. So when you said that, I'm like, yep, I totally, yeah. And it
gave you flu-like symptoms.
Yeah, because your body's, it's starting to fight it. But it's amazing that one of the treatments to get rid of the cancer was that.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But what I wanted to, because people are watching this right now, I imagine you're banned on a lot of social media. So where can someone find you?
Yes.
Guys, people don't know this, but I was the first person in the world to get banned from all social media before Alex Jones. They came in 11 years ago, shut me down on Facebook, YouTube. So, but basically, the best way to find me now is Telegram. But you can go to my website, vaccine-police.com. And if you want to get the IGF one, the best way to get that is get IGF. Okay, easy way to remember that is G as in God. E is in energy, T is in Trump, I is an idiot for bringing this bioweapon to market. Yes, I said it. Trump's an idiot for bringing it to market. G is in God, F is in frequency. Get IGF.com, and that will get you all the information. Please go and download our letters. Download the dossier from David Martin. Please serve that to any person you know that's doing ill will to God's people and God's children. This is how we get them to stand down, guys. This is how we take action. If you want my pain and energy tips, send me your name, address, and email to 205-936-9803. 205-936-9803. And then please, guys, watch Died Suddenly. Send this to your families and friends. The newest documentary we have out, we just released it 6 days ago, is Brave Reloaded. And next week, we're releasing Covenom 19. A lot of you seen Watch the Water. This is going to be a follow-up to that to show you exactly what is in the water, show you the snake venom that's in the water, the snail venom that's in the water, and give you all the medical evidence. But again, then we're going to show you the solutions, guys. They use problem, reaction, solution to create fear. We give it to you to give you hope and show you that God has all this. We've already won this. But again, we have to continue to wake those souls up to those that don't know God and bring them to Christ. So that is my blessing. That is my wish. And again, don't believe nothing I've told you today, but do what the Lord commands you to do. I'm not a medical doctor. I do not practice medicine without a license. I'm not a lawyer. I do not practice law without a license. But do what the Lord commands you to do, and that is test and prove all things. And again, as I said earlier, if you ask, he will show you. He will show you what the temple needs. But so many of us are afraid of asking. And I tell people, everybody's like, Christopher, you're not afraid that they're going to kill you like they did a couple of your friends? I'm like, no, guys, I'm not afraid. Because again, number one, God's not going to let me in heaven because I'll make him crazy right now. He says, y'all stuck with him because he will ask me too many questions. So I'm stuck down here. So y'all got to deal with me. Okay. And I'm here to stay for a long time. And I'm having an unbelievable time with this. And we got to help God's people and God's children because, again, they are coming for all of his children. And we, the people, have to stand up.
Love
Yes,
that.
love it.
So thank you, Christopher, for coming on the show.
We'd love to have you another time.
Yeah, we're going to have to circle back
Yeah.
with you and get you back on the show again.
Yeah, this is because you have so much information. I don't even think we can do it in just one episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but thank you so much for your time today to come onto the show and to, like you said, start getting the education out there because you don't know who needs to know the thing that you know. And like you said, planting the seeds, you keep planting because it will germinate. So we appreciate you and we're in gratitude for you for that.
Thank you.
Love you guys. God bless. Vaccine dash. Don't forget the dash. Police.com. Vaccine-police.com. Phone number 205-936-9803. Love you and God bless.
Love you. Thank you.
Zero In will help lead you out of brain fog and into laser sharp mental focus.
Yeah, it's a natural alternative to synthetic stimulants. You get all of your cylinders firing at full force.
And made with turmeric, pine bark, velvet bean seed, and vitamin D.
She looks at me when she says velvet bean seed because she knows it's my favorite ingredient. I just like the sound of it. Velvet beans.
It does. It sounds velvety. Yeah. But it's so good because this is food for the brain. And our brain runs our body, you know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, it's like you zero in on what you need to get done.
See what she did there? Zero in.
Well, that's what I like about the products, that the name means exactly that. For Zero In, it's about the brain, it's about focusing, it's about having it do what it's supposed to do so that you can focus.
Yeah, I love it. Take it every morning as part of our regimen. That includes the whole trinity for Root Brands.
Yes.
You should do the same. Go to therootbrands.com/create option C.
Yeah.
Right?
So
kind of to bookend what we did at the front of the show, I hope you wrote down that. I have to rewatch it myself because
we watch it and we watch it and we watch it. Why? Because even as we listen to it,
when
you watch something, you go back, so I missed that.
One of the things that was the most refreshing about Christopher was he was basically saying, don't take what I'm saying as fact. Go look into it yourself, which is funny because that's exactly what we say almost every episode. Don't take what we're saying as fact. Look into it yourself.
Yeah,
we encourage you to do so.
They said this. Let me see if that's true. And type it in. Don't go so-and-so's name because they're going to, remember, if you're being censored or if they're controlling what you get to really know, they're going to give you a skew and error. Just look for studies and specific things that is being mentioned and learn it yourself.
Well, and perhaps as a litmus test, that's how many medical practitioners, meaning doctors, nurses, the
health advocates,
health advocates, how many of them say to you, we're recommending you do XYZ treatment, take these pharmaceutical medicines, XYZ, but look into it first before you do so.
They never do.
Check it. Do they ever?
No, they just hand it to you and then you take it. But you never look into it. You don't look at side effects. You don't look at the harms. You don't even look to see, does it really fix it? So a lot of times, if you pay attention, the actual secondary side effects is the very thing you're trying to take this to avoid.
Yep. So
it's weird.
So if you haven't joined us on the Lourdes and Chris Show, I can't even say it.
Join us on the Lourdes and Chris Show.
If you haven't joined us on the lourdesandchrisshow.com, we encourage you to do so. Subscribe, like, and share. It helps immensely when you guys subscribe, like, and share. It gets the word out. And Christopher mentioned that a few times too. We just need to get the word out, and that's what this is all about.
Because it's just like our show is exactly what Christopher Key is doing. Is he's just trying to get out there to give people information to help them. He's not making money on helping them.
That's right.
He's even giving people stuff for free.
That's right. So
that they can try it out and check. And it's like, oh, this works and this helps. Free. He's even giving you advice on how to do things so that you can take care of yourself.
That's right.
So you're in a healthier state. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be healthier anyway?
Yeah, and of course, throughout the commercial breaks, you saw that the rootbrands.com, which is one way for you to combat all the bads that has happened and all the things that Christopher Key was talking about and we were talking about, that old shot in the arm.
Yep.
Root Brands has been known to reverse that.
Yep. And this is what I like to say. I can't wait to try his stuff out. I'm continuing the Root Brands, but we've always done, like, I'm doing Root Brands because we know exactly what it does for our bodies. But why would we stop there? Why wouldn't it's like, I want to do the thing that you try out or you put the pain thing.
Yes,
it's like, okay.
The antler, yeah.
Yeah, Root Brand doesn't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got all these different things that Root Brand doesn't have. So even though we love Root Brands, and I will always take it, like I've always said, for the rest of my life, because what it does, I mean, we really feel the reversing of aging. We feel healthier and younger, and we have more energy, and things that we had have disappeared that we're just like, wow, that was nice to that.
Yeah, right.
So we see the results, but guys, you got to check these things out. I mean, Root Brands is amazing, and we say it because we use it.
That's right.
And now we can't wait to try out also,
Yeah, we'll let you know.
and add to our regimen, our Root Brands regimen. I can't wait to add that.
That's right. That's right. We'll let you know how that works out.
Yes.
So if you go to the rootbrands.com/create option C, that's where you're going to sign up, and it's, well, you explain it better than I do.
So you just go to rootbrands.com/create option C. You sign up just like you did when you got on, if you got on Amazon, you signed up.
That's right.
You put all your information, credit card, blah, blah, email, right? And then you buy and you purchase. Exact same thing.
Yep.
Difference is with them, you have to, if you go to Prime, you do have to do a pay, you have to pay for it to have a Prime membership. This one you can do a Prime where you get auto ship and there is no charge. It's just that you get your stuff each month.
That's right.
And because we love the stuff and we plan to use it, that's why we're on that. Go on there, sign up, purchase these things. It's amazing. We love it. We use the Trinity pack along with the Relive Greens and the Mitochondria Defense Shield. It's what we use. It's what we love. And it's what we see the results in. So
that's right. And we're on all social media outlets, and that's why we have these up here to show you that we're everywhere.
Yes.
We talk about the Root Brands on there as well. And if you want to know more about the show, of course, go to thelourdesandchrisshow.com. But we're also talking on these social media outlets as well. So we will see you there because you're on social media. Why not join us on social media?
And please share this video.
That's right.
You saw the information. It was extraordinary. So try to just go, I'm going to share it with my friends.
That's right.
This week, I'm going to do something different. Sometimes when you do something different, the shift happens and it's like the biggest blessing you've ever had.
Yeah. If you don't know who needs to know the thing that you know.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of this, is to start planting those seeds and get them germinating and get people to thinking about their health in a different way.
Yes.
So we absolutely love you. Thank you for joining us again this week. As always, we will see you next Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's what we've committed to do for you every week. And we love you, and we can't wait to see you again next week.